Hey guys, what's up? Becky here with you from Best K9, and today I have my lovely assistant Roxy here with you. And we're going to go over the different types of muzzles we use and how to muzzle condition your dog. So we'll get started with the two different types that I mainly use. One here is a Baskerville muzzle, which you can pick up at pretty well any pet store. And this one here, I like using for dog aggression a little bit more than I do dog-human aggression, but if this is your only availability, get it. A basket muzzle tends to be a little more comfortable than a fabric muzzle that constricts and the dog can't really eat or drink out of it. For a dog to become muzzle conditioned and a little more comfortable with the muzzle, we always recommend a basket style muzzle, which is like something that the dog can eat and drink out of. And this one here, again, you can pick up at any local pet store. Something that I like to do with these, because they're a little bit more of a harder plastic, is you take like a cotton wipe, and you could basically tape it on the nylon pieces here. And that will be a little more comfortable for your dog and wearing it around their muzzle, because these harder edges can wear on their noseband a little bit more and become a little more uncomfortable. The reason I don't recommend this for human aggression, if you can help it, is the fact of people's fingers can get caught in this style of muzzle very easily. Again, though, if you only have availability to this kind, get this kind. But I find that your fingers can slip through pretty easily, but I do like it because dogs can easily eat and drink out of this muzzle as well. The second muzzle that I'm going to talk about here is a Jafco muzzle. This is a Jafco muzzle, and it's I always get the 3-point muzzles, because it allows a little more control that your dog can't flip the nose piece over their nose and get out of the muzzle. The whole point of having a muzzle on is for safety. So I like this one here because the plastic is a little more pliable. It's a little more moldy and you can bend it, which means it'll mold to your dog's face a little bit easier. And another thing that I like, I don't know if you can see this here or not, but this part here will actually fold up. It's like a neoprene piece. I think it's neoprene anyway. It's a soft fabric that's pliable, and when this goes on your dog, it actually folds up, so none of the sharp pieces of the plastic actually causes discomfort for your dog's muzzle, for your dog's face. So I do prefer to have this one a little bit more, especially for comfort or for dog-human aggression, because your fingers can't easily fit in the sides of this muzzle. And it's also the clear plastic version, which is a softer plastic, and you can cut the front out so that you could administer treats through there as well. So let me grab Roxy here as my assistant, and we'll be right with you. Okay, we have Roxy ready to go. The first stage that I do here with muzzle conditioning is I'll take my hand, and where the hole is at the bottom, that's where I'll put the palm of my hand. And I'll just hold it like so that the food cannot fall out. And I'll take a couple of pieces of kibble, and I use my dog's regular diet. If the dog is not food motivated, wait till the dog is food motivated with the regular kibble. If you start using a reward, the dog will wait out for the reward instead of working with the regular kibble. Then you'll have a dog that's willing to wait you out for the regular kibble in order to get the high reward value food. So I always start off with their regular kibble first, and I always like to get them good and food motivated for this, because you want this to be a positive thing. You want this to be the least amount of stressful that it can be. So I'm going to just take my hand, cover over the hole, and drop a few pieces in. Roxy has been my assistant a lot doing this, so I'm just going to allow her to eat the food out of the bottom here. There's another piece in there. And this is what I would do, is I'd spend a lot of reps just allowing the dog to eat from the muzzle. If your dog becomes uninterested and no longer food motivated, I just put the food away and the muzzle away and introduce it later when your dog is food motivated and ready to work for their meal. The next thing I would do is basically put some pieces of kibble in and allow the dog to move their muzzle towards, or to move their muzzle towards the muzzle. So I'd move it away and they have to basically kind of catch it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try a different angle here. There we go, good girl. Okay, the next thing that I would be getting the dog to do is doing an indirect reward, so getting the dog to put their muzzle in the muzzle, basically, and waiting out for the reward. So, like this, break. And even if it's for a second, break. And I would do different angles, break. Muzzle. Yes. Break. Good girl. And just getting them used to getting the reward. Break. By putting the muzzle on. Break. And then after your dog is comfortable doing different angles, break. That way, the next thing that I would start doing is putting the muzzle on and getting them used to the straps being around and only feeding them with the muzzle on. And then the only way that your dog gets food is to have the muzzle on and the straps on. And just practice putting the straps on a little bit just to get them used to that feeling. Good girl. There we go. Good girl. And that way she's rewarded for just having the muzzle on. And yes, good girl. Good job. And eventually you can put the muzzle on. Make sure it's snug, but not too snug where it's completely uncomfortable. But it shouldn't be able to come up over their head. And this strap here should be somewhat snug. If not, the dog can then take it and flip it over their nose if they start to panic with it on. And another thing, if you're working with the Baskerville muzzle, which many people do, there's a loop here, which I generally put a dominant dog collar through. So I'll put that dominant dog collar through, and it's as a safety. That way, if you're at home just getting ready to go for a walk or something and you need to put the muzzle on, that I could just hang like this, and when you're ready you can throw the muzzle on, strap it on, and it's a safety that it'll always be attached to the dog, and it acts a little bit as a backup. And make sure you get the 3-point muzzles. I believe I mentioned that earlier in the video, but that way the dog is the dog really can't get it off because the muzzle is supposed to be there for safety. So anyway, I hope this video helps. Take care and happy training.